But the question that everybody's asking is Roki Sasaki. And, I think my thinking is the Dodgers, possibly the Padres, but now the Padres have got some turmoil in their camp with the wife
ownership.
of ownership is suing the brothers of Peter Seidler. And who knows if a player wants to get into the drama of that, or if they even factor that in. Maybe that doesn't even touch the ball club. I don't know.
I would be surprised if he didn't know where he was going already, and just trying to be respectful of the process, and maybe try to learn something more about other teams. But he may be in the decision-making mode yet. But I've said it on your show a handful of times. I'd be surprised if he's not in the Dodger uniform.
Yeah.
I would take 51% Dodgers and 49% the rest of baseball. I think maybe 51 might be low. We'll see.
Yeah. I've done some videos on him, and my thinking on this is he wanted to be posted as soon as Ohtani signed last year, the day Ohtani signed, like, hey, can I get posted too? And I'm like, okay, that sounds like he wants to play with Ohtani. Then, because he's taken a big haircut on the pay. I mean, he's sacrificing hundreds of millions of dollars for this particular contract because he's going to be international pool money. But I did this thinking, I'm thinking of myself. Not now, everybody thinks differently, but I thought to myself, if I'm going to Japan or another country, I don't know the language, and I got 20, 30 companies after me, and they're all going to pay me the same. But there's one company that has two of my buddies on it from America, speak my language, and they happen to be the best company to work for. Why would I choose a lesser company where I don't know anybody?
Well, that's why I say what I say. Yeah. I mean, there is one player, at least one player in San Diego that he's very familiar with Mr. Darvish. But, I just think that the way the Dodgers have prospered, how they play, how they prepare, the success that they have had, like nobody else has had the success they've had in maybe since divisional play. I know Atlanta won a lot of divisions, but they weren't winning 100+ games every year, 110, 115. They weren't winning 106 or 107 and getting beat by a game, So, they've got everything going for them. They've got the best player in the game, and they've got other great players sitting with them. I think signing Theo Hernandez was a huge move for them and sets up their lineup. They just went with more defense with Kim the other day. They're the place to be. They are a destination. Now, we could have said that a few years ago, too, when Ohtani first came to the United States. And that was a bit of a surprise. So we don't always know what everybody's thinking, but the way the Dodgers, the good fortune that the Dodgers have had, coupled by the success that they've cultivated and executed, I don't know that anybody else can come close to that, especially if the money is relatively the same.
Yeah.
The opportunities to make more money off the field are only going to be in LA.
Right.
To that
great
extent.
Point.
Plus
all the ad revenue he can earn through some of the endorsements.
Yeah, no doubt.
There. Wow. So
listen, I'm sorry to interrupt. There's one other thing too that I think about as pitchers may think, and that is, they have such a deep rotation and such a deep staff. You're coming over here for the first time, like Yamamoto a year ago.
Right.
They're not expecting you to make 30 starts and throw 180, 200 innings. do your share. We're going to preserve everybody. They play for October. We're going to
Right.
preserve everybody. So, you're not going to be rushed into a situation. You're not going to be put into a rotation where we expect you to pitch every fifth day. Okay. That because we don't have enough starting pitching. That's one of the benefits of being the Dodgers again. They have so much that nobody needs to carry the team. Nobody needs to extend themselves to their maximum. And
Correct.
and that's
Yeah,
a
they'll be
huge
going into
piece.
the playoffs rested because
Yeah.
their pitchers are going to throw 140,
Amen.
maybe 150, and other teams are going to be hitting 170 to 190,
Amen.
200.
And you know what? It's funny, two guys like us are talking about getting the guy to 180 innings. I
Yeah,
mean, your fifth starter used to give you 180 innings. But anyway.
right. Right. Yeah. I remember the days when these guys pitched 350.
Oh yeah.
They pitched Bob Gibson, I think one year had 32, 33 complete games. It's
Oh
like
yeah.
ridiculous. Yeah. I mean, these guys made
You'll
sometimes
never see
40 starts.
Ripken's record broken. You'll never see that broken for consecutive games, nor will you see anybody get to 20 complete games, 15 complete games, 10 complete games. I
Right.
think I think there'd be a parade if somebody had 5 complete games.
Yes. Yes. And the Giants signed Willie Adames early. It's been almost a month, December 10th. There hasn't been any moves since then. A lot of fans have been upset that there's nothing happened since then. And what we're hearing is, at least from the press, that it's not for lack of effort. The Giants were trying to get Tucker. They were also in on the trade for the Garrett Crochet, who ended up with Boston.
Yep.
How difficult is it if your farm system does it come down to that it's just like, if I would imagine it comes down to that, if a team likes what you have more than what they can get somewhere else, they're going to take your deal.
No doubt. And the free agent thing, we've talked about this too on earlier shows. The Giants need to become a destination again.
Mm.
And having Buster in charge certainly helps quite a bit. But they need to become a destination, no other way to say it. And they have to be the team that people want to play for. Got a beautiful ballpark, great city, great fan base. But players have if players are born on the East Coast or born in Latin America, you're going a long way. Your family's coming a long way if you're going to play on the West Coast. So if you made the decision that you're going to play on the West Coast, well, you know where you're starting.
Right. Another
So
question for you. What the Dodgers are doing, some people say it's bad for baseball. They don't like the fact that they're getting everybody and they're spending money. I personally think I look at it different, but I'm probably more old school. I think it's good because I think it pushes other teams to compete and get better. What's your thought on that, with the Dodgers spending as much as they are and deferring contracts and seemingly have an endless budget?
well, they're not breaking any rules. And if you expect, are you going to ask a team to play 7 innings, not 9? Are you going to ask a team to compete for 7, not 9? You're going to ask a boxer in a 15-round, 12-round match to just fight for 10 or 11? No, you expect your teams to go all in and to do to compete for a championship, and that they do that. It's not shame on them. I think it's shame on those who question them for doing that. And I think while it may spur some teams to spend more, I don't know that it spurs that many. Is Colorado going to change their philosophy? You've already brought up San Diego. Are they going to suddenly throw another 50 million in to their payroll because the Dodgers have done what the Dodgers have done? The Giants, maybe. But I don't know that teams look at it that way. I think they expect their baseball people to sign and develop good players and to be able to compete. and they leave it to them. They don't want to leave it to the banker to make them a competitive team. Most want to leave it to the front office and your scouting and player development people to give yourself a chance. So, there's been a lot of teams that have had chances for a long time and they still sit in idle. They sit in fourth or fifth place. So, I don't see anything wrong with it, and they're not breaking any rules.
Something I don't quite understand, because what I looked at the other day, and I saw this, what the Dodgers did by signing the kid Kim from Korea. And I thought, and then they've signed Snell, and they're still looking at Sasaki. The more depth you can add to a team, it opens up, one, it gives you security if something goes wrong, but two, it allows you to make trades to replenish and keep the system growing.
Absolutely.
And that's what they did today with Lux. They got this kid, I'm forgetting his name. I did a video on him already, but he was a third-round pick. The Dodgers picked him up in 21 out of high school in the 16th round. He chose to go to college, I believe, Northeastern. Reds drafted him last year in the 24 draft this past summer, third round. He's supposed to be good bat-to-ball skills, quick bat, speed, some power. And, he's 21. So you get him, and then you get the 37th pick approximately from the competitive balance pick. That's at the end of the first, top of the second round.
Yep.
Now you're just going to, okay, let's develop a couple more guys and just keep the system going. I don't understand why teams don't do this. It's just beyond me. I've said this story before, Ned. I wasn't I played ball. I wasn't a great player. I was a good ball player, but I was drafted at 9 years old in the majors. And the manager that I happened to have had a system. In fact, he learned it from the Dodgers. He